in summation, if I were to put the collective wisdom of both success, failure, tried and tested methods, we are going to give it of 10 years, which is, we are going to give it in a capsule form. And obviously, it will be a very interactive session. Anybody can ask any question. So it's going to be a very interactive session. So this is that, short.
And Srivatsan, I would like to introduce one more officer, Mr. Lakshman Sundaram. He has also joined. Lakshman, if you can switch it on.
Join your camera.
So I'll just switch it off because so that you guys can interact. Two videos can only be at the same time. And two officers, you please interact, and he can give you Lakshman was one of my favorite student, and he's an officer now, and he can give a lot of insights into this examination as well. And one last part, I will go with that. They have asked, Praveen has asked, will sociology be a part? Actually, Lakshman is also a sociology optional. You guys can talk about sociology a little bit. So I will go outside because you guys sociology optional. I'll be a student and watch it.
Lakshman, please take over. You can start.
Good evening, sir. Nice to meet you, sir.
Hi, Lakshman. Yes. Good. Please go on.
Good evening to all, and Srivatsan, good evening, sir. So I was a little bit quite busy with some meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, which has been conducted recently today. So they have issued some appointment order to me. So that's why I'm a little bit late to this meeting. So, sir, nice to interact with you, sir. First of all, I would like to introduce Mr. Srivatsan, sir, because the relationship with me is great. He guided me for the mains 2020 essay. He is a very good person at the essay. No one can beat him, I would say, because the way I have changed the essay answer writing, it's because of him only. And the introduction part and that cohesiveness in the essay you can get from him. That is for sure. I will assure you all. And the thing is that both of them are legends. I am like a small person in between them, so I don't know how to address you all. I would like to ask some questions to you, sir, on behalf of students, because many students has this problem of continuously studying for a long period of time. The consistency issue is already so we have also faced that. So can you give some insights how to study consistently so that we can achieve something? Because many people used to read 1 hour a day and they used to leave for 1 week. So I don't know how to. Could you please give some insight on that, sir?
Yeah. So on the question of consistency, we've already dealt with that question a little bit, but still I'll talk one more time about it. See, every day, try doing just 5 things. I always have this 5 thing formula usually. In this I took. I mean, like I have no patented right to. This is from Ayurveda actually. In Ayurveda, this one concept called as dinacharya. They say, like it's called as dinacharya. Dinam meaning every day. Charya means path. Okay. What do you mean by dinacharya? To put it simply, it means that every day, if you do some activity, be it any activity, okay, even if you do it imperfectly, which means that you're not yet very perfect in it, it will give you far greater returns than if you do it perfectly but inconsistent. So what do I really mean it? What Dinacharya says is, every day ensure that you keep touching the textbooks continuously. You might fail miserably bad, perfectly fine. One day you might be like, you might keep article 14 and you might sit with article 14 for the entire day. Or you might sit with article 21 or directive principles, or some other president election still might not enter into your mind, or you elected representatives are, nominated representatives are, will Pondicherry come in it or not? All of this is perfectly fine. So the first key part is Dinacharya, which means every day, even if you do something imperfectly, it is far more important than doing it perfectly but inconsistently. First one. Second thing is, have some other physical activity every day, which is unconnected with the examination. What do I mean by physical activity? It can be walk, it can be going for a jog, it can be playing your favorite sport, It can be doing any activity, like you can play a musical instrument or anything unconnected with UPSC. It has nothing, it should not have anything. Anga poito and you should not be like, what is the length of the pitch? Will they ask it in the UPSC prelims? Don't think about all of that. Do something which is absolutely unconnected with the exam for 1 hour, not for 3-4 hours, because I know of a lot of people, in the name of going to the gym, they will sit in the gym, they will talk to their friends, they will boast about, oh, I am preparing for UPSC, I am this, I am that. Stay in the gym for 4 hours, study only for 2 hours. No, that's not what I'm talking of. All I'm talking of is 1 hour, exact 1 hour of some physical activity which you like doing, integrated with the process every single day. I was able to do it only in, I think after 2014 only I started this. The first 1.5 years, I never used to do anything. So it was extremely stressful. See, and this exam is a high stress process. Okay. So let's not joke about it. Let's not be unfair to ourselves. Because probabilistically, if you look at it, you will be like, it will be like that Vijaykanth movie. India மொத்தம் 10,000 பேர் இருக்காங்க, அதுல மட்டும் எழுதுறது இத்தனை பேர். So it is like that only, this exam. So therefore, the whole point of motivation and how to consistently follow is basically 2 things. One, follow the principle of Dinacharya. It's okay to have less performance in some days. It's perfectly fine. But what is not okay is leaving gaps. Absolutely not okay. That's why even for one doubt which one person asked, I told them every day at least read newspaper, so that you're in continuous touch with the current affairs, the exam and the process. If you leave long gaps, then bringing back the momentum is very, very tough. So give small doses of injection every day. As you gradually go up 1 or 2 months, it will be like that. But monitor your progress. That's important. So people generally, when they read full time, there is no external monitoring mechanism. They will think that they will wake up at around usually 9, 9:30, 10. Okay. And then they'll be like coffee, they'll drink for 1 hour, and then tiffin or 2 hour. And then afternoon 2:30 only they'll start studying. So basically you're not studying full time. You're studying only half time. All right. So don't cheat yourself. Have a clear calendar. Be honest to yourself. This exam is ultimately about honesty. Okay. Whatever you write in your ethics paper ultimately should reflect in your everyday life. So this exam is ultimately about honesty. Now, in this honesty, first be honest to yourself. Yes, I am wasting time. That's the first honesty that you should understand. Second step is, I am wasting time. How do I change it? We are not saints. Please understand that very clearly. All of us will have our own problems. The point is accepting the problem. First thing is, you should not be in denial mode. Okay. First thing is accept the problem. Then people like me or Shiva or Lakshman can pitch in and we can give you solutions towards it. But if you people don't open up and talk to us about your problems, then how will we? All right. So the first step towards motivation is honesty. Be honest to your preparation, because you are the person who is sitting there in that room and doing the hard work. We can simply sit and talk. Even if I take classes, ultimately, that's what I tell to students. I can talk for 100 and 200 hours. I have no problem. That's why even when Shiva was asking, I have no problem. I can talk for 3-4 hours. But you need to do the hard work. We are simply making your hard work easier. Smart work, hard work, whatever new terms that have come up. We are simply making the process easy. So motivation part, these are the 2 tips that I would give. One, you can be perfectly fine. It is perfectly fine to be inconsistent. Second thing is, be honest to how you're mapping your time. That's important. Yeah.
Hello, nice answer, sir. So
one
taking
more,
forward this question.
Just a moment. I'll ask one question and I'll leave. The question is, you both can answer. You both can answer in terms of as to answer writing. Briefly about answer writing. You guys have written mains and cleared this examination. Briefly about answer writing, each of you, please, because many have asked in the group as to the answer. 2 questions, answer writing, and they asked this doubt as to The sociology, will this include sociology also? You can just give it. Thanks.
Lakshman, go first.
Ah.
I will listen for some time. Go.
Okay.
Go on.
So this answer writing session, right? So answer writing, I had that knowledge because of Srivatsan sir and Srivatsan sir. So I will tell you the basics of answer writing. Many people will think that answer writing is a big task. Yes, it is a big task. Unless you, otherwise, if you understand the core part of it, okay. So the main part of the answer writing is to brainstorm the answer. We have some, some significance of answer writing, and it includes some of the characteristics. For example, it has to be, and there has to be an introduction. Then we have to write a main point should be there. Then we have to write the conclusion. Okay. So we should not start answer writing per se the topics which have been given in the GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4. Rather than first of all, we should try the answers the things which we know, because the beginners face the trouble of answer writing because they don't know the subject at all. Then how come the answers will come? That is the first question, right? So for answer writing, if you want to excel in it, try to answer some things which are already you know. For example, let's say in front of me is this a laptop. So just write down what is the advantages and disadvantages of laptop, and way forward, just write an introduction of laptop. We people are know about laptop. We are using it, or else cell phone. You write. What are the definition? How do you write the definition of smartphone? You just write it. Then advantages of smartphone. We people know. Then write 5 advantages. Then 5 disadvantages. Then way forward. Then conclusion. That's all. This is how you have to start writing the answers. The brainstorming must come in front of you whenever you are seeing something. For example, if you are going in a road, you can think about what are the pros and cons in the road of Indian system, because we are having the largest number of road deaths is happening in India. Because there may be a question in GS3, because of disaster management, there can be road potholes are increasing. That can be a question. So when you gather this kind of knowledge, then you come into the subject. Slowly you learn the subject. See, my answer writing strategy is that I would say the Brahma Shastra which is given to you is that syllabus. Every line, there are so many lines in the syllabus which you have to keep in mind. For example, GS4, if you take, there is word called compassion. So we cannot write inside the examination hall or only what is the definition of compassion. This is not the right way. We have to prepare it first. What is the definition of compassion and what are the different types of it, and have an example. Because today when Honorable Prime Minister was interacting in through virtual medium, he was saying about some stories which has the compassionate, which we can be written in the main GS4, right? So that is how we have to build the answer writing. And one more thing, answer writing, as we had the previous question of consistency. If you consistently write the answers or consistently write introduction for a week, just write an introduction for anything, for a water bottle or but that must be corrected by someone. You just write it, brainstorm it and write it. That's all. Very simple. Answer writing is a tough task, but the thing is that if you do it regularly, definitely it will be like a cakewalk rather than a tough walk which we have. That's all insight I would like to give, and I'll hand over the sessions to Mr. Srivatsan sir.
Yeah. So Lakshman was spot on that. I'll just add few points. He has almost covered it entirely. So I always tell to people that, look, there are 2 levels of answer writing. Okay. First answer writing will be, as he made a very, very important point. So I always have, in my classes also, I generally tell this, answer writing is the most important thing. Unless you write answers, nothing is going to happen. All of these bahana meaning the stories I give. But the point is, everybody asks that question, how, right? I don't know anything. I am a person who's just now enrolled into the course and you're expecting me to write. This is where the challenge comes. And I tell people that, look, stop thinking of yourself as a person who does not know anything. That's where the problem is. And this is the example that he gave. Let me give one example. Supposing you read Indian national movement, which is a freedom struggle. Okay, I'm using the word Indian national movement for way too long. Freedom struggle. That we all know, something happened. There was some population called as British who were occupying us, and then Mahatma Gandhi and all of them came, something happened. You read about something called as non-cooperation movement. Let's take that. Now in non-cooperation, question in the UPSC can be asked along multiple levels. First question is, explain the cause, course and consequence of non-cooperation movement. This is straightforward static question. English terinja, people who know to write basic English can write. Start with such questions. Like the example that he gave on computer or whatever it is. Basic things, whatever you read. Because you are not a person who is not going to read. You're going to read every day. And what are you going to read? You're going to read polity, you're going to read history, you're going to read geography. Take static questions. What is southwest monsoon? Explain. Question. You write it down. Give yourself 5 questions, static, straightforward questions. Just like that's why again tell this exam to start off with is nothing different from the 12th standard examination that we have all written. So please come out of that thing that people say, oh, this is the toughest examination. This is this examination. Don't look into that. That's the first level. But this level is not UPSC level. Please understand it very, very clearly. This is the beginner level. Then you go into some level called as intermediate level. Now in this intermediate level, what do? Intermediate level, you add a tinge of analysis to it. Question will be like, do you think? In the question, first question, what did I ask? The first question that I asked is explain. Explain an artham. It says that 1, 2, 3. That's all. Next question that I'm asking is, do you think non-cooperation movement was a successful movement? This is slightly different. This you cannot write immediately. Please be very clear about it. This question you can write only after 3-4 months of studying Indian national movement or history or whatever. Then you should graduate into this question. Third level is take past year UPSC question. Past year UPSC question, Gandhi did something. Was he right in doing that? Now this is the UPSC level. Are you able to understand? 3 levels are there. 1, basic level, intermediate level, UPSC. Now why writing practice is important? Writing practice is ultimately important because, and again I tell all the students that look, ultimately prelims, most of the people will, if they study well, they'll clear. What matters is mains. Mains, nobody is going to give you 1 mark because you are knowledgeable. Please understand it very clearly. You will have to complete the paper. You will have to write decent answers in all the answers. Appada, you are going to get marks. And suddenly, how is it going to happen that after clearing prelims, suddenly one day I will become great in answer writing? How is it going to happen? It's not going to happen. So let's not fool ourselves. That is the reason why I told honesty is important. Honesty, go back. I will give just one example to just complete this. I know I'm dragging on a little bit. I'll just give one personal example, which will give a lot of insight to people. So my first UPSC attempt was in 2013. Okay. I wrote my essay. I think Lakshman might know this story. I'm just repeating. So I come from an English educated Anglo-Indian school. I used to think that I was like really good in writing English. I could speak well, and therefore I could write really well. The essay that came to us was Gandhiji's usual quote, which is there: be the change that you want the world to see. Meaning, whatever change that you want in the world, you first change it in yourself. You will not believe, I did not practice even one essay for that UPSC attempt, by the way. Okay. You will not believe I was not able to write one side. People, I was sitting in that gallery room in one college, gallery room, like it's a vertical kind of a thing. I was sitting in the last row. I could see every person in the exam hall writing except me. And I have recently left my job and I thought that I will clear this exam. It was a slap on my face, straight slap on my face. So ultimately, you know what I did after that? I went back home, finished all the other exams. I knew I will not clear that year and I just wasn't really bothered about it. The next attempt, the essay that I wrote in the exam was perhaps the 90th or the 91st essay that I was writing, which means that I have written 85 essays before. You know what my score changed from? My score changed from, in the first attempt, I got 93 out of 250 to 147 in my next attempt. This is that drastic shift that happened. Are you able to understand this point? The same shift happened in sociology also. Sociology, my first attempt, I scored somewhere around, I think, 190 put together, if I'm not wrong. I think I scored around 110 in paper 1 and some 80 odd in paper 2, which is nothing. You cannot survive in this examination with such scores. I went back again. The only change that I made was I wrote 50 tests in sociology. Where did my score move? My score moved from 190 to 270. Are you able to understand this point? So this is the tried and tested strategy. There is absolutely no other strategy which is required for this exam also. And I find it very funny that people all over the world, at least in India, not the world, in YouTube and everything, they complicate this exam so much. It is a simple exam, but it has a voluminous exam. It's not the toughest exam in the world. According to me, IIT JEE is far more tough simply because I'm telling you, I have written almost all the competitive exams in this country. Starting from IIT JEE, which I wrote in my school, I have written CAT, I have written GMAT, I have written GATE, I have written UPSC, I have written TNPSC, I have written SSC, I have written bank exams, I have written every single exam in this country. I can vouch for it. This exam is not the toughest exam. Yes, it takes a lot of mental grit. It's a very mental exam. Plus, it's an exam wherein volume you will have to read. Like you will have to know a lot of things about a lot of subjects. That's the only difficulty. But in terms of cerebral activity, in terms of intelligence that is required, I don't think that this exam is like really very high intelligent people and all. No offense to Lakshman and all. He also cleared the exam, so don't think of it that way. I'm just trying to say that, again, going back to my off-quoted thing, this exam is ultimately off averages, by averages, for averages. Right? Yeah, on the sociology front, Shiva was asking one question. You can answer that, Lakshman.
Yes, sir. Sir, before going into the sociology question, many people are asking that CSAT question. How to prepare for CSAT? Because nowadays, when I was writing, CSAT was a little bit easy, 2019. Yeah. But 2020, it got very tough, and 2021 got very tough, and 2022, absolutely no one cannot answer this question. No one, because I would say many people are clearing that. But then we people find difficulty. Could you please give some insights, sir, on how to prepare on CSAT?
Yeah.